Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with TMC in TWL. And this time we are at China, Shanghai. Dry race, dry qualifying, that's our situation. And hoping to qualify. I'm not touching the ultra softs. Actually, no one ends up touching the ultra softs in terms of setting a fastest lap, but going to start on a set of mediums at least to start qualifying, and after that see what we can do. So heading into this one, didn't feel too amazing. This is a pad track and a track that favours no traction, but we're going to have a nice little incident to show as we get ready for our qualifying lap, our first lap. Oh fuck's sake, Jeff. So we're trying one for a lap and flipping Jeff jumps the queue. Like it's an unwritten rule, it's a gentleman's rule in league racing. For the first lap, like, you give each other flipping space, and that really pissed me off. Jeff just cutting in front like that, and just there's no need. Like, there is just no need. Everyone backs up for each other, so there's just no need. Anyways, on that lap, then I was already mad. Then I ended up losing the back end. Then coming through turn 12, or coming out of turn 11 rather, and there's so many cars behind. I just wanted to run wide here, and then look at that shit. Look at that shit. And this is next lap invalidate. I'm on the gravel to avoid the cars on the flipping track. So anyways, after I come into the pits and then back out again, we set our banker with a 132.6 on mediums, puts us in 11th place for the time being. So that really pissed me off though. Between that and flipping Jeff cutting the queue like that, really pissed me off. Anyways, this is the start of our last run in qualifying, and then you can see Carlsberg absolutely parked on the line, and I have to go wide to not smash in. If I'd taken the racing line, I would have smashed into him. Anyways, I had to abandon that lap, and you see I just enough time for a second flying lap, and then this is the lap I set then, 31.5 on soft, so not great. 12th place, 13th place actually turned up in the end. So anyways, you can see Casper then took pole, so I didn't want to spend too much time on that screen because I was so annoyed. Anyways, 3, 4, 5 red lights, got a quick start here. And away we go on the softs compared to RW, and to keep it on medium, so I'm hoping for a good run off the line. Initially it hasn't really worked out, but we're going to see how we get on into turn 1. I'm going to tuck to the outside, usually some opportunities arise there. Initially it looks good. I think I'm going to get close. Yeah, see, so Leclerc gets into RW's line a bit, and then that helps me kind of pull alongside, stick tight to the line. But then Perpetual Mobile's going to have a moment, and he kind of slaps into Tekeepa, and that disrupts Tekeepa's pace, and I have to back off, and that allows RW to get away from me, and then Kerosene Kev as well past me. So nothing that Tekeepa could do about that. Obviously Perpetual Mobile had a moment, but I just with the space that there's a car to my right, there's a car in front, I had to get off the throttle, and that ended up costing me in the end. I want to have a look down the inside here at Kerosene Kev, but he's going to have the better line, the outside line. Just constantly aware of trying to look behind me, what's around me. See Kyle having a bit of a moment there. So initially it hasn't gone too well to begin. We're in 14th. I didn't have a lot of high expectations going into this one, because obviously, look, it's this corner in particular. There's a couple of parts of the track where I've struggled. That corner, turn 12 is one of them. This is a track that favours the pad over the wheel, and no traction over medium traction. So kind of everything working against me in that sense. In the last race we had here, season 5 at TMC in TWL, you can see a big lock up there. RW and Tekeepa getting close. Kerosene Kev has got by both of them, so good start for Kev. But it was a tough race for me here as well. Like China, like the pace just was nowhere as well. So we'll see how we get on though. There's the end of lap 1 though. The big problem, and you're going to see it as the laps kind of go on, the big problem is that I'm on softs, Tekeepa and RW are mediums, and I'm boxed in behind them here. I can't do anything about it. This has allowed the others to get away somewhat. You'll see a bit more of it. Like you see lap 3, the separation isn't too much, but you'll see as the laps go on, kind of how much is it actually costing me. Because at this stage, I need to be pressing my advantage on these softs, but I can't because I'm boxed behind these two, and I'm not going for dive bombs where there aren't any, or there's no move to be had. So, in a sense, it's being clean is kind of costing me a bit as well, because I'm sure somewhere along the way I could have gone for a dive, but RW's gone for a dive on Tekeepa. He's seen it coming. It's going to put us 3 wide almost. I almost get into decent territory. You have to get out of that, but heading into the last corner then, disruptive run for both of them. They're trying to fight, and here we go now. I sense an opportunity, knock it up into overtake. DRS to pull out to the right hand side. There's not a lot of space. We're going 3 wide. Go down the inside. On RW, you've got to keep it. A little bit of a squeeze, but he was left space on the track, and I had to get that move done. And what a move that was to get to keep it and RW in the same move. And you can see the gap to Kerosene Kevin front, like on soft. Like that's where I should be closer to that than where I am right now. But it was just boxed by those medium runners of the keeper and RW, and I just couldn't get anything done. But now I can, and you can see I'm pulling away a little bit now. 1.1 seconds. The problem is though, it's lap 8, and the pit window's lap 11. So these tires are getting close to being past their best, and unfortunately I'm going to have a lot of time to stretch my advantage on the softs. Kerosene Kev disconnected, so that was an overtake there, a move there for me. So happy days, move up into 11th, and you can see Matt up ahead in 10th, who was struggling with his pad out of turn 14. Lap 9 and on to lap 10, see the guys on mediums are beginning to catch up, because now these softs have had their day, and now they're catching up. See, the gap to Matt is 3.4 seconds. Just remember that for later. 3.4 seconds behind Matt on the softs. I know he's got some issues, but and then lap 11, F1 Alonso's actually got by. I think RWA pitted, or no, to keep it pitted, I think is more so what happened, and F1 Alonso's got by RW. I'm struggling for words. I was thinking where to defend this one, but I decided no, I wouldn't. My original pit window was lap 12. I decided with this overtake, I would. Oh, a bit of contact from RW actually. That was scared me a bit, so I wasn't too happy with that. I thought, okay, let me go into the pits then. So a bit of a dive there from RW, I think I have to say. Looking back at that, I actually didn't realise that last time I checked, because I prepared this footage last night to do today. So, anyways, heading into the pits then. Lap 12, going to send mediums to the end of the race. Matt there. I lost a bit of time to Matt on that last lap, but the gap was 3.4, so just remember that. Anyways, we're basically going to come out in last because, well, apart from, I think Bugatti's still in front. RW is basically behind, so we're in 17th. We've done our stop, and let's see what we can do then on these mediums. So lap 12, long stint to the end of the race, but let's see what we can do. The gap to Matt is 5.9 seconds in front on lap 13, so you kind of see what we're up against. We've lost a little bit of time between that and the pit stops. Between the overtake and RW crashing into me, lost a little bit of time in the pit lane as well to Matt. And on to lap 15, you've got a few people in the pit lane. Sorry, the keeper hadn't pitted, my bad. He's pitted now. Him and Scuba have pitted. Scuba was tucked behind the train at the start. That big train, it was RW to keep it, myself, F1 Alonso, Scuba, Kyle was there for a bit before he retired. There's a couple of others around as well. So lap 17, a few more people into the pits, Combi's into the pits. F1 Alonso is just going to get ahead. I think he's just come out. Hello. Yeah. And then Medium Pilot, actually, it was a surprise. Medium Pilot ended up retiring there in front. Not sure what happened. I'm not sure if he had an incident with some. He obviously had an incident with someone, but not sure who. But anyways, we're going to come across his stricken Sauber on the left-hand side, and that moves us up into 13th. And Combi out as well. So I believe he retired in the pits to Combi. So that was someone who would have been in our race later on, but retired. Anyways, my big issue now was because I was spent so much time behind on the guys on mediums, on softs. It was always going to work against me in the second stint, because I was basically where all the medium runners were in the first stint, but on softs. I would have been in the exact same spot in the first stint, I think, if I was on mediums, and I would have had softs then to run to the end of the race, but I didn't, and I was basically a soft runner. I was basically with the same place where as the medium guys were on softs, and in the second stint that would screw me, because these guys on softs, there's a big advantage between the soft and the medium, and this just left me just very, very exposed. But the other part was I just had no pace in the second stint of the race. Like Matt, for example, is well and true. Like Matt's going through turn 4 right now. Matt was 3 seconds ahead of us on the same tyre. I know Matt's quicker than I am, but Just shows you how kind of things went wrong for me in the second stint. Lap 24, see Scuba 6.2 seconds up the road. I've been slowly been caught by both Hero Jokin and Dekeepa, who are both on soft. So again, it's kind of part of the second phase of the race working against me. I should have been much further up the road in the first stint than I was, and I'm paying for it big time now. Lap 24, I mean, I'm going to try to defend, but really, what can I do? Hero Jokin going to try around the outside. I make a little bit of contact, but he's going to have a good run on traction. I'm a little too slow to pull up to Rich and High, and I thought he might have left me the space, but I probably shouldn't have had my car there anyway. So there goes that position. I was going to lose it anyways, but I thought maybe because I had the racing line. My thinking at the time was because I thought I had the racing line at the time, and I thought, okay, this has to count for something. Surely I'll leave space for the racing line, but it didn't happen in the end. And to keep, I mean, just soft tires, mediums. And that was down to P14 then. Bugatti's the only one left then behind me. He's in P15 after he spun out of turn 12, I think, very early on that, and pitted into the two-stop. So that is basically mostly the race. Yeah, well, that is the race. I was able to keep within 3 seconds of Dekeepa and Hero Jokin, but sadly there wasn't a lot of penalties around at all. Big thing for me is to not pick up penalties, be consistent, and to pick up the pieces where others fall apart, and that's kind of what I do. But when I beat them on strategy. That's the other thing I do. I try and do. But the problem is when you're on the worst strategy in terms of I was stuck behind to keep an RW on softs. That meant that I was around where all the medium runners were and ended up being on softs, and who ended up being on softs when I was on mediums in the second stint. So that didn't work out. When no one else is getting penalties, and when my pace is just not great around the track, I stood no chance of getting any points today. So arguably this is probably one of my worst tracks. Like it's fine to drive, but just with medium traction and a wheel, I was at look, I'm already at a disadvantage. Like I'm slower than a lot of these guys in this division. It doesn't help when I'm at more of a disadvantage then in terms of the what assists I'm running and the wheel I'm using, and obviously using a wheel, and then added to that the strategy, and then added on to that the lack of penalties for everyone else. I didn't really stand a chance today, but anyways, you can see only a handful of people got penalties in the end. I mean, look where Matt ended up. Where Matt ended up finishing, I think it was 14 seconds ahead of where I was in the end, on the same tyre and the second stint. That shows you how far that got away. You see, F1 Alonso ends up finishing 5th. Casper won the race. My teammate Larynx is in second. Jeff in third. So fair play to them. I'm still pissed off about Jeff cutting me like that in qualifying. Like, there's no need. Lap 1, just fuck's sake. Just there's no need. All right, that pisses me off more so than Calsper or anything else. Anyways, that's going to do it for China. Next up is Baku after the Christmas break. So give a bit of a break to regroup after that tough race. But anyways, until next time.